Hi everyone, my name is Audrey and welcome to my channel. So today is Friday, which means it's a new weekend vlog. So before getting on with my reading plans for this weekend, I'm going to leave you a small clip from a past version of me because this week I received an order I placed. It's not exactly a book haul, but it's still a small haul and I still wanted to share it with you. I received my order on Wednesday and I could not wait before opening it up. So I opened it on Wednesday on camera, so I'll leave you the clip of past me here and we'll get back to future me after that. Hi everyone, so thank you future me for letting me put this haul in this video. So today I have received an order that I wanted to share with people. It's a haul, it's not a book haul. Well, there is one book, but you'll see it later. So it's more of a musical haul, no pun intended. So as you know, I teach music and arts in elementary school, and I started playing piano when I was 5 years old. I did singing lessons, and in high school I played the recorder, the flute, and clarinet. And I also started taking private lessons on the violin when I was about 15 years old. As a music teacher, well, most of music teachers here teach the ukulele to 5th and 6th graders. And I did not know how to play the ukulele, and I had to learn to teach it to my students, and I just fell in love with it. So around my birthday, which was in May, I wanted to buy myself a ukulele for my birthday as a birthday present from me to me. But I ended up not buying it for some reason, and I do remember I sent some links to my sister and my mother because I wanted to show them my new love for this instrument. So yeah, I know that my sister bought me a birthday present that didn't arrive yet. She told me she ordered it online, but it didn't arrive yet. So fast forward to last weekend when we went to the aquarium with my mom, and I received on that day that my ukulele came, and I told my mother, and she told me, well, I'm not supposed to tell you this, but your sister bought you a ukulele, so I'm going to have two. It's fine. I didn't think she was going to buy that for me, but yeah, I ended up buying my own on the last day of work because I wanted to treat myself after this huge, tough year. So yeah, mine just arrived. I haven't received the one my sister bought me yet, but mine has just arrived, and I wanted to unbox it on camera. So the first thing is, well, it is a book. It's a music sheet book, 50 songs to play on the ukulele. Then I bought this case because I know that as a teacher I'm going to bring my own ukulele in class, so I don't have to use one from the students. So I had this one ordered because I wanted a case that was a little more sturdy, and because I knew I was going to travel a lot with it. And I love the padding. I think it's perfect. The interior is very, very soft. Love that. And finally, the ukulele. Just let me get this opened.
You may think that I know too much, but no, it's never too much. Because when push comes to shove, girl, just trust I won't get sick of us. You my salty crush, I'm doing something different.
So we have the engraved Hawaii Islands on here. We have a small pattern engraved here. I am very, very happy with how this turned out. Love the sturdiness. This just made my day. And now back to the future vlog. Very happy with that. I have been playing in the last few days and my son is getting a lot of interest into it as well. So we'll see how that goes. So reading wise, last weekend I did stop reading Tiny Pretty Things because it was for Summerween and I just failed Summerween really badly. I did not finish any book for Summerween. I'm still going to try to read those books during the month. But yeah, I put Tiny Pretty Things on pause because I wanted to get into a more mystery thriller for Summerween, and I did not read more of this book, so I have no update for you on this one. But I did make some progress in the 7.5 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle by Stuart Turton. I don't want to talk about it too much because it would be spoilery. So basically it follows a main character. I thought we were following Evelyn Hardcastle, but we're not. I'm just gonna stop there because I don't want to spoil anything, but we follow this main character who is trapped in this Groundhog Day type of day, and at the end of the day there's someone, well, Evelyn Hardcastle dies and he has to find who's the killer in order for this trap to stop. How much can I actually say without spoiling it? I think it's best if you go blind into this. I think the writing is very brilliant. I'm only 28% through, and so far I have been surprised many times with plot twists and what's going on and trying to figure out the big picture because we're only given some pieces, and the way that the author writes it, I think it's done brilliantly so far. Maybe it may change throughout the book, but so far until 28% of this book, I'm really loving it. I'm invested. That's about all I'm going to say about this book because I would not want to spoil this for you, and I think it's really best if you just go in blind and let yourself be surprised by the plot and the twists. But yeah, I'm really, really loving it so far. So this weekend's plans, we don't have much plans. We did get out yesterday and this morning with my son's godfather. He lives about from a 3-hour ride from here. Came here and we went to a restaurant and then we went to a mini golf. I did not think to bring my camera, and honestly I did not have time even with my phone to film anything. But yeah, we had a great time. My son got to spend some time with his godfather, which was really great. But for today I'm going to try to get some reading done because this week I haven't been reading much. I keep falling asleep on my books. It's not that my books aren't interesting. I'm really invested in them, but somehow I just fall asleep on them. So we're not surprised here. But yeah, today I'm going to take it easy, get some reading done, and there's possibly one day of the weekend I'm going to go and meet my friend. I do have some filming I want to get to besides the vlog, because I have a new idea for a series of videos that I'm so excited about, but I'm probably going to do some filming and editing for that video, and I do have some orders to get done, some sewing to do, and that's about all the plans I have for this weekend, so lots of time for reading. So yeah, that's it for now. I'm gonna get myself an iced coffee and get to that reading. I'll update you later.
We can go to wherever we like. There's so much out there to see. And you can paint a picture while we're playing of the palm trees in the air. I can sing you all that I've been saying. I like the color of your hair. All I really know is I was waiting. Now that love is ours to share.
Hi everyone! So remember in the last vlog where I said that I was so bad at vlogging? Well, I did not vlog at all today. I didn't bring my camera with me, and then I was filming this whole clip until my camera turned off, realizing that it was not filming at all. Great. Hope you had a better day. So this morning I went to get my second shot of the COVID vaccine, which I'm so glad I'm done with that. So far I'm not feeling bad or sick or anything. I'm gonna touch some wood. But no, so far it's fine. Just a sore arm. We'll see how it goes tomorrow. And then we went straight to the mall after that to get my son's school supplies for school. This is a tough milestone for us. Like, I'm saying us, me and my husband. I know he finds it tough as well, but for me, I find it hard to see him grow so fast. We do try to make the most of the time we have together and spend as much quality time as possible together. But even if we do that, time goes so fast anyways. So yeah, that's a little heartbreaking to see him grow so fast, but at the same time, we're very proud of the little boy he's becoming, and there's all those mixed feelings all together. And it's kind of a big milestone as itself. And add to that the fact that I just turned 32 in May and we still don't have any more children, which is also heartbreaking for us. And that path is a roller coaster of emotion in itself. Even if you already have a child, it's still hard to go through. So yeah, there's that. I'm not getting any younger as well, and I can literally see the time just go so fast, and I have to admit that I am scared that I'm going to just miss the train on that. And I'm also a teacher, which means that I'm always dealing with students' parents as a teacher, but this is the first time I'm going to find myself on the other side, being the parent myself, which I find a little overwhelming, if that makes sense. So yeah, there's all of those emotions implied with this big milestone. We almost have everything on the list. I am going to make some of the things he needs, like an apron for art, as well as some other stuff, and we still need to get some shoes, but that will wait a little further. And then we spend some time in the afternoon identifying all of his crayons and markers and all of those stuff. So yeah, with stickers and his name on them, and that's done, and we're almost all set for September. So that was basically my day. I also did play a little bit of ukulele just now. I try to play most days between 15 to 30 minutes so I can just keep up, because there's no secret in being a musician. You just have to practice. Professional musicians practice 8, 10, 12 hours a day. I don't, because I'm not a professional, but I try to practice at least every day. So yeah, that was me. I did not put any sound in that B-roll because obviously copyrights, and I don't want to get into that. I do have some reading updates for you. So I have continued the 7.5 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle by Stuart Turton, and I did some reading sprints yesterday. I wasn't hosting anything, I wasn't live, I was just joining in the chat, which I love to do. I love reading sprints so much. They're so fun. I love to talk to people about books, and I love how motivating it is to all be reading all together. So yeah, and I told people I was reading this book, and they told me that they didn't hear a lot of positive things about this book, which surprised me a bit, because I've heard good things, mostly positive. I haven't heard that much about it, but what I did hear was mostly positive. They told me they heard about fat phobia in this, as well as a slow pacing, and that it was confusing. So I'm now halfway through. I did not read any fat phobia in this. So I know that some people will say, well, you're not a rep for fat phobia. No, but I have been struggling with my weight for a long time, and mostly because of hormones and PCOS. And I do have some symptoms that includes having trouble losing weight. And yeah, I have been struggling with that a lot since I gave birth to my son. And I'm very sensitive to those things. And I did not pick any of this up in this book. So maybe I will later on, but so far I didn't pick it up. I would be curious to see the quotes and context around fat phobia that these people are talking about. But so far I didn't pick anything up. And then the slow pace, I don't agree with. I was very invested since the beginning. I do admit that it is confusing, but it's one thing that I really, really love about this book. The thing is, I know that some people do need to feel this very clean-cut plan of what's happening, chapters by chapters, or like they have this map of how the story is going and how it's structured. But for me, I find that boring because I feel like it's a recipe, and in art, it's something that I really don't like. For me, when it becomes a recipe, it's not art. It's just execution, and I struggle with that. Anyways, so we don't have the big picture here, like starting by the corners and the outside of the puzzle and then doing like little parts by parts. That's not what's happening in this book. So we're just given like pieces here and there, and you have no idea what's going on. What's the big picture? Then you're given some pieces then that fit in some places, and then you can put other pieces all together and it fills the blanks. And it's one of the things that I love the most in this book. So I can understand that it's confusing, and if you're not invested in the story, I can understand if you're frustrated by reading this. I don't think it's a book for everyone though, for that reason, but I'm really loving it. And the other thing that I love is even if the author is giving you some more puzzle and then some part of the big picture is showing up, he still manages to give you some more puzzle pieces further away, and there's more mystery coming up even as you go. So it's not just like we have the big mystery from the beginning and then we just get the pieces. No, like more mystery just adds up, and then you're gonna get the big picture at the end, hopefully. So obviously this type of book can be ruined by the ending. That's what I'm a little scared of, honestly, because that's going to make it or break it for me. It makes me think a little bit like the TV series Lost. I loved that series so much from the beginning, and the authors on that show just kept opening some more doors to some more mysteries, and we were given some pieces of the puzzle, and then some other mysteries came up, and I really, really loved it until the last season. That was just, let's not even talk about it. It ruined the whole series. So that's what I'm hoping will not happen with this book. Yeah, still loving the characters, loving the premise. I'm sensing maybe some. I don't want to talk too much about the details in this book because I don't want to spoil it. I think it's best that you go into this book without knowing too much. But I do have some theories on where this is going. And I may be wrong, but right now I'm feeling it's a very Black Mirror type of situation that's going on behind this, but I may be wrong. So yeah, for now, I don't think I have any much more to say about this book without spoiling it. So tomorrow I won't be vlogging either, but this is a choice because I don't want to bring my camera. I'm going to a friend's house. I do plan on continuing reading this. I am going to read this after I wrap up this clip, but I will try to read as much of it as possible tonight and try to finish the whole book during the weekend. I would actually be very happy if I finished this book during this vlog. I also want to finish Pretty Tiny Things, so I can move on with another book. I haven't read one single book this month. What is going on? I have no idea. This is supposed to be summer. I'm not supposed to have so much things to do, and somehow I didn't end up finishing any books so far, and we're already the 10th of July. So I'm going to end this here so I can get to reading and get those books finished and get to those goals, and I'm gonna stop rambling here. I'll see you later.
It's sunny out of most days. You'll never see the sky if you keep looking down. And if you take the wrong way, then maybe you should stay instead of turning around. So, but you keep on going. I know that you're in the open, hoping that you'll be okay. Don't stay looking out the window. And how late do you plan on going? Nowhere, afraid of all the things you don't know. There's so many reasons you should care. Don't stay looking out the window. And how late do you plan on going? Nowhere, afraid of all the things you don't know. There's so many reasons you should care. The sun is setting down soon. You'll never see the stars when you're holding your hand. You can find beauty in the night too, but it's harder to see when you're stuck in a dream. So, but you keep on going. I know that you're in the open, hoping that you'll be okay. Don't stay looking out the window. And how late do you plan on going? Nowhere, afraid of all the things you don't know. There's so many reasons you should care. Don't stay looking out the window. And how late do you plan on going? Nowhere, afraid of all the things you don't know. There's so many reasons you should care. You may think that I know too much, but no, it's never too much. Because when push comes to shove, girl, just trust I won't get sick of us. You my salty crush. I'm doing something different. Your name's been on my tongue. My cup's been looking fuller. You're picking apart my walls, and baby, let's settle up. Cause lately the world's been going crazy, and I gon' need somebody to talk. Saltine and ginger ale, that shit will never fail. I keep it tucked on my body cause I don't feel well. Girl, tell me something else. Saltine and ginger ale, that shit will never fail. And you may think that I know too much, but no, it's never too much. Because when push comes to shove, girl, just trust I won't get sick of us. Hold up, simmer. Comfort queen, my squeeze at night. Who opens up this packaging's too tight, ho, whoa. And know you got it like that. Bring it on back, cause you got it like that, ah, yeah. And know she got it like that. Sometimes desserts are best when last. Or your daddy gonna beat my ass. Yeah, baby, One shoe if I can get enough. Spill twice, never wipe it up. Pump the brakes and let these walls sip fast if you're feeling numb. 10 spins to your own drum. Exciting with the sweetest cup. And you may think that I know too much, but no, it's never too much. Because when push comes to shove, girl, just trust I won't get sick of us.
I told you before that I was bad at vlogging, right? So on Sunday, I did want to do a quick update before leaving for my friend's house, but having a young child sometimes makes it a little more difficult to do small things like that. So I left in a hurry. So I thought to myself, it's fine, I'll just do the quick update during the evening and that will be fine. But I got home very late and ended up being too tired to actually do any filming. I just didn't feel like it, so I decided to skip Sunday altogether. And then on Monday, I started my day by doing some sewing because I had an order that I really wanted to get done quickly. So I was on my sewing machine and then I started having a big headache and getting, well, not feverish, but I was feeling not very well. And then it just went on, and then I clicked that it was probably symptoms from my vaccine that I got on Saturday. So I spent the whole Monday not feeling well. I did manage to finish my sewing, but after that it just drained me completely. I was just exhausted and I just couldn't do any filming, nothing. I tried to read and I didn't have much reading done either. I just kept falling asleep on my book, which is a pretty normal thing for me to do, but well, yeah, that was my last unproductive 2 days. Yeah, and I didn't want to do any update this morning. We're late in the evening. I didn't want to do any update this morning because I did want to finish the 7.5 deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle before doing my final update. Does that make sense? And I'm happy to announce that I did finish my book finally. I gave it a 4.5 stars. I love this book so much. I had like tiny little issues with it that I will talk about briefly. I won't give you too much information, first of all, because I don't want it to be spoilery. Also, because if you do intend to read this book, I think it's best that you go in without too much information beforehand and just let yourself go through the motions of the book. I'm not sure how to talk about this book without like spoiling anything, so I'll try my best. I think I did talk about a theory of mine in the last update of this book, where I thought that yes, there was this Groundhog Day type of situation and all of that, but I had some Black Mirror type of vibes. If you did enjoy Black Mirror, I highly recommend this book to you. So for those of you who do not know Black Mirror, it is a show, it is a TV series on Netflix. I think it is produced by Netflix as well. It's a mini series, so there's not that many episodes, but there are long episodes, and each episode is like a mini movie. There's nothing that links all the episodes together except from the concept of the show, if that makes any sense. So in each episode, it's like a different movie. So you're following different characters in a different world and a different story, a different plot, a whole different thing completely. And what ties all of these episodes together is the whole concept that most of them are more like psychological thrillers. Some of them are hard to watch, some of them are softer. They have like huge discussion on technologies and our modern society and stuff like that. And I do believe that there's different directors and creators for each episode. So it's kind of like a different view on our modern reality depending on the director and the creator of each episode. So yeah, I really, really love Black Mirror. I think it's genius. I think it's a piece of art. And this book gave me those vibes. I thought, like, I did sense it throughout the middle of the book that it was giving me those vibes as a concept. I did not guess any of the details of the twists and how it ends and all of the reveals. I had no details at all, but I was right with the Black Mirror concept. I was not disappointed with the ending, except the fact that it was maybe not enough. I would have appreciated if it went a little longer on that side, because it's a very, very open ending. I do know that some reviews found it unsatisfying, that there wasn't a proper resolution to the story. I think it did, just not quite enough. I think there could have been a chapter more on that part. And at the same time, I feel like at the end there was maybe a little too much, that it was dragging a bit just before the last reveals. So maybe some issues there, but it's very small issues for me. And I don't know if I said that either in the other clips. So there is a murder and the main character needs to find out who is the killer. So there's those vibes as well. And I found that there was also a kind of clue type of vibe as well in that sort of sense, which I absolutely love. I remember this movie, I think it was Knives Out. Is that what it's called? With Chris Evans. I love that movie. I love those type of clue vibes with a whole lot of suspects and you don't know who did it. And I really enjoy those. So that was really in this book as well. I'm going to stop talking about this book here because I don't want to give you too much if you want to read it. But if you've liked any of those things, I strongly recommend this book. So that's going to be it for me today. I will close this vlog finally and start a new one on a Friday. Hopefully the next one will be better and we'll see what the next weekend will bring. So yeah, so thank you so much for watching. If you're interested in supporting my channel, there are links for my social medias and my Etsy shop and my Patreon down in the description below. I will hit the like button and the subscribe button if you want to see more videos like this one, and hit the notification bell if you want to get notified every time I upload a new video. And I will see you in another one. Bye!